Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Be Big for One Gaming here, and welcome to episode number 100 of winning a national championship with every team in the game. If you guys have missed any of the episodes from 1 to 100, up in the right-hand corner will be a playlist from episode 1 to today's episode of episode 100. In June, we will have an episode every single day because I think I did the math correctly, the series will end on July 4th or 5th. I believe it's one of those two. And then, of course, July 7th would be the early release day for College Football 26. And then hopefully we'll have some videos out by the 8th or 9th if I decide to get that going. But usually we have a wheel, but in the last episode we did have a comment saying to do USC in this one. So if you guys do want to see a team that we have not done before, make sure to check the description down below, because we can do a team without spinning the wheel. And this time we are doing USC, the actual last California team as well in this episode. Again, very, very close to completing the Big Ten. I believe we are Minnesota, Indiana, and Penn State away. I could be wrong, but I think that's it. I think there's the 3 teams left in the Big Ten, but today we're doing USC, which they're actually one of the lower overall teams in the Big Ten. They're around 84 overall, so it's not terrible, but they're probably not going to be winning the Big Ten here in Season 1. But we do get Program Builder as a head coach, so that's nice here with USC. But we shall see our coaching abilities right here, and right now. So we do have Program Builder, so that is nice. We do have pipeline stuff as well, the 5 worst and the best 2. We also have starting interest for our pipelines. That's nice. We do have Motivator, mostly for the offense, quarterbacks and wide receivers. We do have Scheme Guru, same thing. And we do have Recruiter, same thing. Quarterback has the boost for the weekly recruiting hours, but wide receivers do not. But we do have actions for influence. And we have fully scout for O-line and wide receivers. Our offensive coordinator, a lot with Recruiter. Or mostly with Recruiter. Mostly on the offense. And we do have Scheme Guru as well, mostly for the offense as well. Same thing with the defensive coordinator. Just D-line and linebackers. That's about it, though. Scheme Gurus mostly for that, along with DBs. So that is actually very, very nice to have some Scheme Guru stuff as well on there. But checking out the roster here, we do have Jonah Monheim, who is a 93 overall center, which is very, very good. Quarterback is Miller Moss at 87 overall. Pretty decent quarterback. We do have Cade Fox behind him, and Jake Jensen as our third quarterback. Running back, we do have Trevion O'Neal as 81 overall, 90 speed, along with Joyner, same thing with him, 90 speed, but 80 overall as a sophomore. And we have Peterson, 75 overall, 89 speed. Wide receiver, we do have Zachariah Branch, who is a sophomore, 87 overall. Championship contender is his deal breaker, so we got to keep that up. And 97 speed, that's the only guy with above 90 speed. Besides these 3 right here, with Xavier Jordan, Micaiah Lemon, and Jalen Fowler. So again, if I mispronounce these names, I do apologize. But we do have a really good tight end with 80 speed as a freshman too, and we also have Lake McRae. Offensive line is pretty decent. Mostly just could use depth. We probably actually need offensive line. Mostly the left and center. Defensive line, we just need depth. Same thing with linebackers, other than we needing a couple middle linebackers. We're only going to have 2 after this season. Corners desperately need speed. Safeties were decent. We're going to have 4 by the time these 2 guys leave. These 2 guys leave there. And then we're going to have 3 safeties, so we're just fine there. Why do we have 3 kickers? The world may never know. So we do not need a kicker and punter in this season. But anywho, I'm going to go ahead and get Season 1 started. I'll be back at the end of Season 1 here with USC. And here we are at the end of season number 1 here with USC. We go 8-4 in the season. Not a bad season here from USC to start the season, or to start the simulations. We only lost by 1 to LSU. Then we beat Utah State, lost to Michigan and Wisconsin before winning 7 in a row. Minnesota, Penn State, Maryland, Rutgers, who end up being ranked. Washington, Nebraska, UCLA before losing to Notre Dame to end the season. They end up being 11-1 and ranked 5th in the nation. So good for them. We're not going to fire any of our coordinators. They're actually pretty decent. We just need to do pretty well here in this next season. We do lose 2 players in recruiting-wise, but that's okay. Will Howard wins the Heisman Trophy, 3,200 yards, 30 touchdowns to 6 interceptions on the season. And Jonah Monheim wins the best center, so we'll take it, getting a reward. And we'll be playing Kansas State in the Las Vegas Bowl. So that's also very, very nice. We get a really good bowl game. But we're going to go ahead and simulate to the end of season recap here and see who eventually wins in year number 1 in the USC simulation. Is it going to be Oregon? Is it going to be Alabama? Is it going to be Georgia? There's normally all the 3 teams that do it here in season 1, but we shall find out. We go 9-4, so we do win. We're now a 4.5-star prestige with pro potential going down, coach stability and coach prestige both going down, but we have a really good team overall. And Georgia ends up winning it all here in season 1, 34-29. They went 15-1 with Texas State, Utah, Georgia, Virginia Tech, and Oregon were the automatic qualifiers, with Ohio State, NC State, Miami, Alabama, Notre Dame, and Texas and Michigan as the at-large bids. So that's going to end season 1. Is on to season 2 here with USC. And we are in season number 2 here with USC. We go 12-0 on the season. We are at 8-9 overall, but we beat Georgia Southern, Ole Miss, Purdue, Illinois, Nebraska, Northwestern. I mean, we had a pretty decent schedule other than Oregon and UCLA to end out the season. So, Nebraska was ranked, and Michigan and Oregon were the only teams technically that we played in Iowa that we played that were over 500 on the season. So it's kind of an easier schedule, but we do face Penn State here in the Big Ten championship game. Even if we lose, we're going to the college football playoff, just because it's 1 and 2 playing against each other. If we win, we get a bye, but if not, we're still going. We do lose our first game. We go down to an 87 overall, so I'm thinking all the boosts are now gone. But Zachariah Branch, 5 catches, 88 yards, and 3 touchdowns. A good season from him, too. And Drew Aller wins the Heisman Trophy. So we had to end up losing to the national championship, or the Heisman winner. But 3,400 yards, 49 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the season. We're playing Boise State in the college football playoffs. I believe we are playing the 12 seed coming in. They are. But Charlotte, Fresno State, Penn State, Georgia, and Clemson were the automatic qualifiers. With Boise State, USC, Texas A&M, Ohio State, Texas, Texas Tech, and Alabama with the at-large bids. So hopefully we can do a really decent job in our first playoff run. Let's get started here against 9-3 Boise State. Obviously, we are an 87 overall team, and they are an 84. So a little bit of an overall difference for us-wise, and that's a good thing, because we need to take advantage of this and do well at this point here against Boise State to move on to go play Fresno State. We're going to start on offense first in this one, and the offense gets a touchdown. Boise State doesn't do anything, and it's 7-0 after quarter number 1 here with us having the lead. Now it's 14-0. Boise State gets a field goal to make this 14-3. We get another touchdown to be up 21-3 at the half. So pretty good first half for the defense. They do allow a touchdown to start the second half, but it is 21-10 here in the fourth. We get a big first down, another big first down, and a touchdown. So it's an 18-point lead. 4th down and 3. They pretty much have to go for it now the rest of the way. They are passing the ball. It's a touchdown for Boise State, but we score another one. It's 35-17. 4th and 6. They don't get it. We run the ball twice, and that's going to do it. A 35-17 win over Boise State, and that means we are moving on to play Fresno State in the quarterfinals, which would be another Mountain West team, which is kind of weird. I haven't had too many simulations where 2 Mountain West teams go. Usually Boise State goes in the first 2 seasons, but then they kind of fall off a cliff a little bit. You never really see them anymore. But Fresno State sometimes goes occasionally, but never in the same year. But we will take on Fresno State here in the next round. Texas Tech beat Alabama. That's kind of surprising. Texas A&M beat Ohio State, and Texas beat Charlotte. So it'll be Big Ten Mountain West, SEC Big Ten, SEC matchup, and then Big 12 or ACC. So hopefully we can get another win here, and then maybe go play Penn State again and avenge our only loss. But let's get started here against 12-1 Fresno State. They are an 80 overall, so a huge overall advantage in this one compared to last game. We only had a 3 overall. This one is a 7. So hopefully, again, defense can get stops and the offense scores, and then you never know what can happen. We're starting on offense first in this one, and the offense punts. But we do get a touchdown on our second drive, and it'll be 7-0 at the end of quarter number 1, just like last week. Fresno State won't do anything. We get another touchdown, go up 14-0. But then we get 14-6 at the half. They get 2 field goals just before the end of it. They start with football, and we'll get another field goal. They get another field goal as well, and then we get a touchdown to go up 21-12. So it's a 9-point game, a 2-possession game. I feel like a touchdown would pretty much put the nail in the coffin. We get a touchdown and the 2-point conversion, and then we get a stop on 4th down, and that's pretty much going to do it. We're up 32-12. They get a touchdown late in the game. But hey, a win's a win. 32-19 win over Fresno State. And that means we are moving on to the semifinals here with USC in just season number 2. And granted, we had a huge overall boost with training-wise, going from an 84 to an 89 in season 2, which is kind of insane. But honestly, we are actually an 89. We had a lot of 90 overalls. I think we had a couple 89s as well. We're actually now an 87 with an 89 offense and an 87 defense. And we'll be playing Texas A&M in the Fiesta Bowl. So Penn State lost to Texas A&M. And Texas A&M, I think, was the first one to do it in 2 seasons. So this will be a great matchup. And then the 2 Texas teams down the bottom beat Georgia and Clemson respectively. And they'll play each other in a former Big 12 matchup. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough one here against an SEC team, but we'll have to see how it goes. So let's get started here against Texas A&M. They are 11-3 on the season, and they are a 90 overall team compared to our 87. So they do have the overall advantage in this one. Hopefully, we can do pretty well enough to get stops on defense and score on offense. If we turn the ball over, it's not going to end up going very well. We're starting on defense first in this one. The defense forced a 3-and-out, then get a touchdown, and 2 of them at that after a turnover, but it will be 14-7 at the end of quarter number 1, and Texas A&M will end up being down 4. Now it's 11, now it's 18. Now it's 25. What in the world has happened to Texas A&M? We put up a ton of points in the second quarter. We have a 35-10 lead, now 35-13. Texas A&M still down by a bunch here going in the fourth quarter. 35-13 lead, but now it's 35-21. It's a 14-point game, so all of a sudden, Texas A&M can come back. 4th and 7, they get another touchdown. Now it's a 7-point game here in the fourth, but we have ate a lot of clock. That's a first down. They won't get the ball back, but we get shut out in the second half. We could have scored at the final couple minutes, but a 35-28 win after a dominant first half, scoring 35 points, but then Texas A&M put up 18 in the second half to almost come back and win, or come back and tie at least, to bring us into overtime. But that means a win, and that means we're going to the national championship game with USC to go play either Texas or Texas Tech. So another Texas team that we have to play against here in the national title game with USC. Hoping for another win and another defensive game-wise, maybe even an offensive game where we put up 35 points. That'd be nice. I don't know how Zachariah Branch got the player of the game, even though he had 2 catches for 45 yards. But anyways, we'll be playing Texas in the national title game. They beat Texas Tech by a score of 51-21. They have put up a ton of points, 42, 47, and 51. It's a lot of points, but hopefully, again, that we can get stops on defense and score on offense. So let's get this started here against 12-4 Texas. They are an 89 overall team compared to our 87, but a lot of losses outside of SEC play, and I guess they did lose the SEC championship game, so I guess that would be 2 of their losses. 2 of their losses came inside conference play, but 2 of them came outside conference, but yeah, they're very highly rated as well. We're going to start on offense first in this game. here against Texas, and our first drive ends in nothing. Theirs also ends in nothing. We turn it over at the end of the first quarter, but still nothing. We would score the first points of the game, 7-3, and it'll be 14-3 at the half. So that's a big lead going into the second half, where Texas starts with the football and goes nowhere. And it'll be 17-3 at the going into the fourth quarter. I almost said at the half. It's definitely not at the half. It's a big fourth down here, and we get a stop. 4th and 1, we get another field goal. So it's now a 3-possession game here in the fourth quarter with only 4 minutes to go. 4th and 4, they can't get a first. There is 2 minutes to go in the game. Now a minute to go. And there is no chance Texas is coming back. And USC has officially won it all. Here in season number 2 on episode 1. Why is Texas coming out of the same sideline as us? Did anyone else see that? I'm pretty sure that it was a little weird glitch, but we're not going to talk about it because that is episode number 100. So 34 more teams to go. And of course, day 1 of uploading every single day in June. So we're going to get another 30 episodes done. So I believe we'll be at 129, I think. And then we have 5 more, and that'll be the first 5 days of July. So, and then just 2 days later, we'll be college football 26, if I'm doing the math correctly. But yeah, another team down, and that means we look at the stats before we head on out. Moss had 3,700 yards, 40 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. Pretty decent season. Rushing-wise, Joyner 790 with 12. O'Neal also had 684 and 3 on the ground. Branch had over 1,100 yards with 16 touchdowns. Robinson 783 with 10. Hudson 751 and 8. McCree had 560 and 3. O'Neal, Joyner, and Lemon all had over 100 yards receiving and 1 touchdown respectively. Defense, Davies had 82 tackles for a loss. Led the team as a secondary player. I think this is one of the first times we ever had a corner lead the team in tackles. Alexander had 9 tackles for a loss to lead the team. Torres had 7.5 sacks. Davies also had 4 picks to lead the team. We did force a good amount of fumbles and recovered most of them as well. We had 2 blocked kicks. Lucas and Williams both did. We did not have a safety, but we did have 2 defensive touchdowns by Kamari Ramsey. He recovered 2 fumbles and had 1 pick. So maybe there's the 2 fumbles for touchdowns. I don't know. But kicking-wise, Robles missed 8 from 50. That's insane. 2 from 40 and 1 from 20. Had 1 extra point blocked and 1 field goal blocked, but only 57% from field goal is not good. Farmer had 2,600 yards, 14 inside the 20, 11 touchbacks on 62 punts. And we did have a punt return touchdown from Zachariah Branch in the national championship winning season. That's going to do it for the episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, hit that like button down below. It is free. It really helps out the channel. Also, if you guys want to see a team, make sure you write a comment down below. Make sure you check the description first, just so you don't say a team that we have not done already. I know, like I said before at the beginning of the episode, there's like 3 teams we have not done the Big Ten, but there's a couple teams we haven't done the Big 12, ACC, like Miami we haven't done yet. So just let me know in the comment section down below. But anyways, that's going to do it. I'm out. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm out. Peace.